You know, there's something they don't tell you about getting older. It's not just about taking care of your body or managing your finances. One of the biggest secrets to a happier, more peaceful life after 65? It's about the people you surround yourself with. Think about it. How many times have you hung up the phone after talking to a certain family member and just felt drained? Or maybe you've noticed that spending time with an old friend leaves you more stressed than when you started. The truth is, not every relationship is worth keeping just because it's been around for decades. Some people, even the ones we love, can be toxic to our well-being without us even realizing it. And here's the thing. At this stage of life, your peace matters more than ever. You've worked hard, you've earned your happiness, and you deserve to spend your days feeling light, appreciated, and free from unnecessary drama. That's why today we're talking about 5 toxic relationships you might need to cut off after 65. Not out of cruelty, but out of self-respect. Now I know what you might be thinking. But they're family. Or, we've been friends for years. And I get it. Walking away isn't always easy. But here's the good news. You don't always have to make a grand exit. Sometimes it's as simple as stepping back, setting boundaries, and choosing where you invest your precious energy. So let's start with the first toxic relationship you might need to rethink. The chronic complainer. We all know this person. No matter how beautiful the day is, they'll find something wrong with it. The weather's too hot, the grandkids don't call enough, the neighbors are too loud. It's always something. And while it's natural to vent sometimes, a chronic complainer turns negativity into a habit. The problem? Negativity is contagious. Spend too much time with them, and you'll start feeling weighed down too, even if your life is going just fine. Now, does this mean you should cut off your sister because she had a bad day? Of course not. But if someone constantly drains your energy without ever seeking solutions, it's okay to limit your time with them. You might say, I love you, but I can't keep having these conversations. Let's focus on the good stuff instead. If they respect you, they'll adjust. If they don't, well, that tells you something important. Next up, the guilt tripper. Oh, this one's sneaky. This is the person who makes you feel bad for setting boundaries. Whether it's your grown child who expects too much, a friend who manipulates you into favors, or a sibling who plays the "and after all I've done for you" card. They make you feel like saying no is a betrayal, but here's the truth. You are not responsible for their happiness. You've spent decades caring for others. Now it's your turn. If someone only values you when you're doing things for them, that's not love, that's convenience. And you're worth more than that. Now I know this isn't easy. These conversations can be tough and change takes time. But here's what I want you to remember. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. And in the next part, we'll talk about 3 more toxic relationships that might be holding you back, because you deserve to enjoy these years fully, without unnecessary weight on your shoulders. So take a moment and think. Do any of these sound familiar? Have you been putting up with something or someone that just doesn't serve you anymore? Let's keep this conversation going, because your happiness is worth it. Part 2. You know, one of the most beautiful things about this stage of life is the clarity that comes with it. After 65, you start to see people and relationships for what they truly are. The masks come off, the intentions become clear, and suddenly you realize some connections just don't belong in this next precious chapter of your life. In the first part, we talked about 2 big ones, the chronic complainer and the guilt tripper. Those are the obvious energy drainers. But now let's dig a little deeper into 3 more toxic relationships that might be flying under your radar. These are the ones that don't always seem harmful at first glance, but over time, they can quietly steal your joy. First, let's talk about the one-upper. You share good news, maybe your grandchild got into college, or you finally took that trip you've been dreaming of, and instead of celebrating with you, this person immediately shifts the focus back to themselves. Oh, that's nice, but my grandson got into Harvard. Or, you went to Italy. I've been there 3 times. The food isn't even that good anymore. At best, it's annoying, At worst, it makes you feel like your happiness doesn't matter. And here's the thing, real friends lift you up. They don't turn your milestones into competitions. If someone can't let you have your moment without stealing the spotlight, ask yourself, are they really adding value to your life? Or are they just keeping you around to feed their own ego? Now, the next one is tougher because it often comes with history. The conditional family member. This is the sibling, cousin, or even adult child who only shows up when they need something. Money, a favor, a place to stay. The rest of the time, radio silence. And when you dare to say no, suddenly you're the villain. Family bonds run deep, I know. But here's the truth. Blood doesn't give anyone the right to treat you like an ATM or a backup plan. You are not obligated to light yourself on fire to keep others warm, especially if they wouldn't do the same for you. Setting boundaries with family is hard, but it's also freeing. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is love them from a distance. Finally, let's talk about the most insidious one of all, the time warp friend. This is the person who refuses to let either of you grow. Maybe it's a childhood friend who still brings up that one mistake from 40 years ago, or the former coworker who insists on gossiping like you're both still in the office break room. Every interaction leaves you feeling stuck, like you're being dragged back into a version of yourself you've outgrown. Nostalgia is sweet, but living in the past, that's a heavy burden. You've evolved. Your priorities have changed. And if someone can't respect the person you are now, then they don't deserve a front row seat in your life. Now, I won't pretend this is easy. Cutting ties or even just stepping back can bring up guilt, fear, even grief. But ask yourself this, if nothing changes, how will I feel 5 years from now? More drained, more resentful, or finally at peace? You've spent a lifetime making others comfortable. Isn't it time you gave yourself the same gift? In the final part, we'll talk about how to actually do this. The gentle art of letting go without burning bridges, setting boundaries with love, and surrounding yourself with people who truly deserve you. Because this isn't about ending relationships, it's about choosing, the ones that choose you back. How to let go with grace and embrace the relationships you deserve. There's a quiet strength that comes with age, a wisdom that whispers, you don't have to accept what no longer serves you. But knowing what to change is only half the battle. The real question is, how? How do you step away from decades-old patterns without guilt keeping you up at night? How do you protect your peace without becoming someone you don't recognize? Let me tell you something important. Walking away doesn't have to mean slamming doors. Sometimes the kindest goodbye is the one that leaves space for them to grow, for you to breathe, and maybe, just maybe, for the relationship to heal in its own time. Start here, the art of gentle goodbyes. 1. The slow fade for the not so toxic but still draining. Not every relationship needs a dramatic breakup. For the chronic complainer or the one-upper, try simply showing up less. Decline invitations with warmth. I'll sit this one out, but hope you have fun. Asterisk, keep calls shorter. Can't chat long today, just wanted to say hello. Asterisk, like tending a garden, relationships need balance. If one plant is choking out the others, you prune it back. 2. The boundary script for the guilt trippers and conditional family. When emotions run high, words often fail us. That's why I want you to memorize this phrase. I love you, but I can't do that. No explanations, they'll weaponize them. No apologies, you've done nothing wrong. Repeat as needed if they escalate. I understand you're upset, but my answer isn't changing. Then, and this is crucial, change the subject or end the conversation. Boundaries aren't mean. They're the guardrails that keep relationships from crashing. 3. The honorary retirement for the time warp friends. Some relationships aren't meant to end. They're meant to be repurposed. That childhood friend who lives in the past, move them from weekly coffee to holiday card list. Keep the history, release the obligation. As the saying goes, we can cherish the past without living in it. But here's what no one tells you. You will feel guilty at first. That's normal. It means you have a conscience. But guilt isn't a stop sign, it's a speed bump. Slow down, check in with yourself. Am I being cruel or just clear? Then keep going. And loneliness. It might visit, but there's a difference between being alone and being free. That empty space, it's not a void, it's room for new connections with people who celebrate your wins without competing, respect your no as easily as your yes, make you feel lighter after seeing them. Your next chapter starts now. Look around at this stage of your life. Every minute is a gift. Why spend it enduring what drains you? The relationships you keep now should be like your favorite sweater, warm, comfortable, and worn with ease. So here's my challenge for you this week. 1. Name it. Write down one relationship that leaves you feeling worse instead of better. 2. Choose your approach. Slow fade, boundary script, honorary retirement. 3. Take one small step. A shorter phone call, a redirected conversation, one polite no. And when the guilt creeps in, remember, you aren't abandoning anyone. You're finally choosing yourself. Because here's the truth, the people who are meant to stay, they'll respect your boundaries. The ones who leave, they were already taking more than they gave. And you'll wake up one morning and realize the air feels clearer, the days feel brighter, and your heart, it's finally as light as it deserves to be. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. What's one relationship you're rethinking? Let's support each other, because life's too short for anything less than peace. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest conversations about thriving after 60. Here's to your happiness on your terms. Until next time, remember, you've earned this peace. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise.